Adam Benenati, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
How
man.
are you guys?
Doing great. Happy you came in here. We got a lot to talk about here. You're a fire captain, a real estate investor, dad of two with 3 on the way. When people ask how do you do it all, what's the real answer they probably don't want to hear?
Oh, just fueled with coffee, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, man, I just each day just try to just keep going. I mean, it's what I enjoy. I love to, just stay busy and work. So I mean, and your kids just make it all worth it. And that's really the main goal for me is just to provide for them. So I just enjoy it. I enjoy everything that I do. And yeah, I mean, that's short answer.
Yeah. So how long have you been a firefighter?
I've been at Metro West for 10 years now.
Damn.
So going on, it'll be 11 in September.
Was that always the plan, like growing up? Is that what you always wanted to be?
Yeah. Like it was always part of what I wanted to do. I didn't know that I was going to do it as soon as I did. I went straight out of high school. I went to EMT school. I went to the fire academy. I wanted to join the military first and then do it later in life, but I ended up just going straight into it. So
yeah. So what's the process like? So you gotta get your EMT first, right? Is that how that goes? Or
you don't necessarily have to do it in any order, but
Okay.
you do need to go to the academy, get your EMT and then your paramedic license. Most places you have to be a paramedic. We're all firefighter paramedics, so you have to get your EMT before paramedic. But as far as like the academy, and it doesn't really matter which route you go, but you have to get it all for the most part.
What's the academy like as far as is it like a 6-month thing, a year thing? Like how long does it like?
I think it's 13 weeks or something like that. I went through it twice. So, cause there's different academies. There's one in St. Charles. There's one in St. Louis County. So to get a job in St. Louis County, you have to have the St. Louis County Fire Academy. To get a job in St. Louis City, you have to have St. Louis City Fire Academy. So, but St. Charles recognizes St. Louis City or St. Louis County. So
Okay.
I originally started in St. Charles when I was like 18. I went through their academy out there, and then there just wasn't many jobs back then. So to open up more doors, most people would go to the county academy. So that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did real estate come into the picture?
Real estate was probably about 5 years ago. I knew I always wanted to, start my own business and do things on the side of the firehouse on my days off. And yeah, it was about 5 years ago that I started to kind of get into it on the sales side.
The two parallel careers that work pretty well hand in hand together. Because what are you on? 2 days on, 4 days off, 2 days on.
Yeah, exactly. 2 on, 4 off, 2 on, 4 off, and then the days just stagger.
Okay.
So Saturday or Sunday, Monday I worked, and then you're off for 4 days, and then I'll go back Saturday, Sunday, and it just keeps staggering like that all the way throughout the week. So
cool.
Yeah,
and that's like such. That's actually I wanted to be a fire. Like so when I was a kid, people, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said I wanted to be a firefighter. Yeah, and then just because I thought that schedule sounded awesome, and I wanted to be able to like help people.
Yeah.
But I mean that was something that was always super attractive to me. Like 2 days on, 4 days off, or it's always like 24-hour shifts, and it's like and it always looked in movies and TV shows like when they're not out fighting fires, they're just lifting weights and stuff. I'm like that sounds pretty cool. Like sign me up.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Like dude, the schedule is amazing.
Yeah.
You take 2 days off and you're off for 10. Like I'm on vacation right now. I took my last rotation off and you're off for 10 days. If you take
awesome.
2 rotations off, it's 16 days.
Wow.
So it's amazing. And you're right. Like we get there in the morning, check out the trucks, eat breakfast, and then we'll usually go to a training. And then after the training, we'll head back to the firehouse and just kind of do whatever we have to do. Maybe some extra training getting done when we get back. But for the most part, we work out, hang out, hit the grocery store. Yeah. And then run calls in between.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, how close are you with the guys on your squad?
Oh, you get. I mean, you don't have a choice.
Right.
You get close because you're there. You're spending 2 days
living with each other for 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a blast. It's like a frat house. I mean, dude, it's so much fun. If you have the right crew, like I love going to work. It's a good time.
And how long have you been with the crew that you're with now?
So recently I was promoted last year in December.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks. So I got moved to our house 5.
Okay.
So I've been out there for 6 months now.
Okay.
But before that, I was a lieutenant, and we filled in for captains. And so I was doing that for about 3 years. So I was bouncing around a lot. Now, fortunately for me, there was some captains that got injuries and stuff. So I was filling in for them for like months at a time. So I got pretty lucky there. So I've been pretty much doing the captain role for quite a while now.
Well, and I'm sure that's super important too, because you're heading into burning buildings and situations where you got to have each other's backs. I mean, I'm sure that all plays into that. Like you guys build that good relationship, and you can kind of feed off each other and have like you're not actually having to like sit there and yell out instructions. You're so close that you can kind of, I guess, instinctively read each other's moves and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when you have a good crew and guys that you worked with for a long time, like their capabilities, they know yours, they know what you want before you say anything. Most of the time, like I've been very fortunate. The guys that I work with, they're just studs, and I don't really have to say anything. Like
awesome.
They just know what to do and they get it done. Especially, the more senior guys. Like I'll even like bounce questions. I'm the captain, but I'll even bounce questions off of them. Like we'll be on, because I'm 35. I've been doing it for 10 years, but there's guys that have been doing it a lot longer than me, and I'll be like, kind of bounce a question off them, like, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh yeah, making the right call. So like,
that's a sign of a good leader, man.
Right.
Like, because you can't expect to know everything, and like I would say, like, I was listening to Jocko on a podcast recently, and he was kind of talking about that same thing. And it's like, yeah, you might be out on a mission or whatever, and you're leading a crew of guys, but there might be a guy on the team, the tier, who you are in charge of, and he's done this type of mission many, many times, and you never have done it. So like, there's nothing wrong with you asking him for advice, because he's clearly more experienced in this particular thing than you are. So, I mean, I think that's a sign of a good leader.
For sure. Yeah. Appreciate that. I mean, you have to be willing to, the different situations that we get into. If you got a guy that's been on the truck for 20, coming up on his 30 years, like he's got a couple years left to retire, like you'd be an idiot not to take their advice on certain things,
sure.
That just in everything pretty much. At the end of the day, it falls on you. And there's been times where I've had to be like, seek the advice, but then go a different route. But not often. Yeah.
Well, is there, I'm sure you've been on some crazy calls in your career. Is there like one that really like sticks out to you as far as like, well, that was fucking crazy. Did that really happen?
I mean, there's a lot. There's definitely been them. Fortunately for me, like I kind of like am able to like just forget about them. A lot of the crazy stuff is actually more on the EMS side. Like we get some good calls on the fire side, but paramedics, like I think most people think of like, being a firefighter is like, oh, that's so cool. And like it is, and it's cool and all, but the amount of work that paramedics put in, like people don't realize how
sure
tough
there's a
that
lot more
job
people
is.
getting injured than fires than houses burning down.
Right.
Probably,
Yeah.
And car crashes and stuff. And I know certain parts of my Manchester overdoses and
yeah. We used to run the overdoses a lot.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's because people can have access to Narcan now, and they're just giving each other the Narcan once they overdose. I think that's maybe part of it. We used to run that like, man, all the time. But as far as like calls go, like one call that stands out is I think it was like the rotation before we ran a call. I was on the ambulance at this time. So we rotate, right? When you're a firefighter paramedic, most of the time you rotate on to the ambulance, then on the fire truck, just depending on where you work. And some places have just fire trucks, and some places have both. So it just depends. So this day I was on the ambulance, and we get called for I think it was just came out as like a hemorrhage, and it was like a knife to the throat sort of thing. So you're
shit.
like, yeah. So you're like,
hurry.
You're like, oh shit, this is wild. So you start going, and we get there, and it ends up just kind of being BS. Like the guy just took like a little knife, and it was just like a little cut, and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. I think we transported him. I can't remember. And then later that night, I ran one where it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was the same thing. And it was like a hemorrhage knife, and I was like, okay. So you start going, yeah. So you get in the truck, you start going, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, probably nothing. Well, we roll up, and so it's like a 2-story house. When you walk in, there's stairwells that go up, and then you have the room to the right, to the left. So you go up the stairwell. It's like brownish carpet, and then we start heading up, and the bathroom, and you can just see blood like all over the carpet. And then there's a cop standing there, and I think my lieutenant was in front of me. He went in first, and then I went in, and this guy, like, there was a kid actually in his 20s, like, had just completely, like,
cut his throat.
Yeah, like his head was like almost off.
What?
Yeah, and he was laying in the tub, and like the best way I can describe it is like a Pez dispenser.
Yeah,
Like there was just like a little bit left,
like a little hanging.
Yeah, like his
Oh,
head was
gosh.
like, and a cop was doing CPR. He was just trying. He didn't know,
Yeah.
you know. And my lieutenant was like, "Oh no, like he's
he's
done."
done.
But
Yeah.
that one sticks out as like being wild.
This is pretty
Yeah.
gruesome.
Yeah.
That's not something you're
Did
going
he
to see.
do that to himself?
Yeah, he did it to himself. Yeah,
How the.
his parents actually heard like a noise going on in there, and his dad went to the door, was able to unlock the door, and when the dad went in, he saw him sitting up on the side of the tub because he had the water going, and he was doing it. And then the dad went to try to stop him, and he pushed him off of him. When he pushed him off him, he actually cut the dad with the knife. And then by the time we got there, he was actually laying where the spout would be. The water was turned off by the time we got there. I guess a cop or somebody turned it off, and like tile was like ripped off of the wall, like where the soap is at.
Yeah.
It was like ripped off of the wall. So yeah, he did that, and then he stabbed himself in the chest a bunch. So that one sticks out.
Bro.
Man.
Like when I think of like when people always ask like, what's a crazy?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we run like people like you could bring in any firefighter in
Yeah,
here,
they can
and they'll
tell
tell you something that tops that,
Sure.
and or a cop
Yeah.
or a paramedic, and that one just kind of stands out.
Yeah.
a little bit
that's-
to me.
I'm getting
Jesus
chills.
Yeah.
Christ.
Chills
Yeah,
on
that
that
one
one.
was wild.
Just walked in on a dude practically decapitated
Yeah.
himself.
How many-
Yeah.
Like, that's the craziest part. Is that like how do you like? I get
The
people
pain and the.
well, like, it wasn't one fucking slipe.
It was a lot,
It had
yeah.
to have been a lot. you
There's
know?
usually like a psychological issue there. I think it was. I think he had a history of schizophrenia or something like
Mm.
that, which is
Pretty bad.
Nice.
Damn. How many calls are you guys typically going on in a day?
just depends on where you work.
Yeah.
Just depends on where you work, what engine house you're at.
That's where you're at now.
Where I'm at now,
Yeah.
oh, we're slow.
Really?
Yeah. Or we're super slow. I mean, if we get one call, it's slow out there. It just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Like sometimes feel busy,
Sure.
and then other times it
Kinda
just
waiting
depends.
around.
Yeah. Like we have two busy. Our 1s and 4s are the busiest.
Oh,
Wait,
Hey.
what, 1s and 4s?
1s and 4s.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 5 engine houses.
Okay. Okay.
So 1s and 4s are the busiest, the two busiest ones
Mhm.
that we have. They're usually pretty consistent. And then when you throw in trainings and everything else, like you're
doing stuff.
you're
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What do you think about the way that like the pair runs theirs, where you're police, fire, and EMT?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I saw a clip.
Yeah, we had
You
a
guys
guy
talking
in
about
here
that.
who did that for
Yeah.
a number of years.
Yeah,
He's one of the members here.
and one of my best friends is with the pair. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, not for me.
yeah, he was a police officer in the city, and then this opportunity opened up, and he went to the fire academy, and so
Yeah, I guess it just depends on like, because I think they do it in like 8-hour blocks or something.
Yeah, I
like
think that's
that.
what they
Yeah.
said. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like every
So you
8
work-
hours, you're just like switching uniforms and
Yeah, and
switching
all-
cars. and,
They probably all want to land on the fire shift
yeah.
at night so they can sleep.
Yeah.
They definitely don't want to be on the ambulance at
Mm.
night. I can tell you that.
yeah.
Good thing I don't know how busy DePere is or not. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I would imagine that part of town, you wouldn't be dealing with as many crazy things like you would be in the city or wherever.
The
Right.
biggest thing is they're right across from the mall there. They said they get a lot of calls from the mall.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
shoplifting and
That and-
shit like that.
But like I guess there's been 2 active shooters there.
Really?
Yeah, gunshots, like
Oh,
shootings at the mall.
I believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it
Wow.
would be. I don't know. It's like anything else. I think there would be fun times. I mean, I think being a cop would be cool.
Yeah.
At times, it's just like anything else.
Right.
It's
At
crazy
different
though, man.
times,
I mean,
yeah.
we had a cop in here last week, and he was telling the story. I mean, him and partner both got shot in this, like in a full on like shootout. He got shot 4 times. He walked up to the car. They were in pursuit of this vehicle for a while. He said it crashed into one of those giant like city flower pots. Those like giant ones. That
Oh
are,
yeah, yep. I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
Apparently he ran into one of those, and like, and said, looking back on it, I should have waited a few minutes before I got out and ran up to the car, but he ran up to the driver's side door, and as he did, the dude just shot him 4 times.
Oh wow, is that the city or county?
City.
Yeah.
He said it was out by Soulard.
Yeah.
Soulard
Okay.
Market.
Chased him from like Dutchtown to Soulard, basically.
Yeah, and
or
he said
something.
the mistake he made was that he had his taser out versus his gun.
Oh,
Yeah, and he said he took 2 in the chest in his vest, and then 1 went through his side. It's like wedged by his spine.
Yeah, he said it's still there.
And then 1 in his forearm.
wow.
And then he's
Brutal.
and then his partner, he's like, he got shot once, but he's like, yeah, that was like the 16th time he's been shot. So at that point, he really didn't care.
Something wild. Like, dude, I was like, dude, how many times? This dude's like, no, I think
that's the senior guy.
I think
I'm
he said
talking about.
it was like 8 times because he's like, hey man, the dude's like a cat. He's only got 1 left or
Oh,
something.
yeah. He's probably been doing it for a while.
Yeah, he's like a very seasoned guy.
Yeah.
And then even, and then this guy had just stories for days. And then 2 weeks before he got shot, he was telling us the story of how they pulled over this car, and it was three people in it. They all got out. He had them all like sitting on the sidewalk in cuffs, and he went in there to like search the car, and he said he opened up the center console, and like a plume of like dust came up, and he said apparently they had been cracking fentanyl pills and like just dumping the powder in there, and so then like that he inhaled all that shit, and he ended up like overdosing.
Yeah.
And so his partner was like jamming Narcan up his nose, and he said they had to do like 4 or 5 things in Narcan before he like came.
Not just that, but they said when he got to the hospital, he woke up and they had 2 of the like industrial size Narcan bottles shoved up his nose, just pumping him full of Narcan.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a crazy story.
Yeah.
The kid's like 25 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dude, he's he had lots of crazy stories, and he's only been doing it for I think he said 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
But it's like holy shit.
You get into it. I mean, you should probably have my brother on. He's been a cop for a long time.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy stories.
We love
where's he
hearing
at?
those stories.
Yeah.
Where's he?
He is at, where is he at? I'm drawing a blank. Woodson Terrace.
It's a
Okay.
terrace. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm familiar with that. I got one of my rental properties.
Oh, okay.
Well, speaking of rental properties, you're an investor as well. When did that kind of all start for you?
I started that in 21. I bought my first duplex, then did the whole, renovate burr
Yeah.
deal. So that went well. It was right before I had my first daughter. So, I mean, of course, renovations took longer than it should have.
Always.
Like, I just did everything not wrong. Like, it was a good deal. Like, at least I bought a good deal.
Yeah.
But as far as like renovations and stuff go, it went longer than it should have. I let a painter kind of take advantage of me. Like, just took way too long.
Mhm.
Like, I know how to deal with that type of stuff now.
Yeah.
And then I have another duplex that I just bought in South City as well. That's being renovated right now. There's just started the 2nd floor.
Nice.
So yeah. So nothing crazy, like no big portfolio or
No,
anything.
me
but
either, bro.
Working towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
goal with that?
Really just to stack up as many as I can.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I just want to stack as many rental properties and just kind of build that long-term wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Just part of the whole process,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said something key there, the long term thing. So
Right.
that's what I feel like
People
people get into real estate and think that, or like get into real estate investing, the rental properties in particular, and like think that, I'm just gonna live on the cash flow. And it's like, bro, you know how many you have to have? I mean, you have to have quite a portfolio before that's a real thing. Like you and I are not retiring off our duplex or or 2 duplexes or whatever it is. It's like you're gonna need a lot more than that. Because most like long-term rentals, like you're not going to be making, you're making a few $100 in cash flow a month, if it's a decent deal,
For sure.
it's not like
It's the appreciation
it's
that
the
comes with it.
it's the long-term appreciation. That's where the real money's made.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys that are preaching like the living off the cash flow and stuff, they're selling you a course.
Right.
They're building a business that
Right.
makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then they're taking that and they're investing it in real estate.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
you're buying, and I'm not saying like paying for a course is wrong or anything. Just do your research and make sure what you're paying for is
Right.
legit. Because I've done it. I've signed up for courses.
Sure.
I have a mentor now. That's not cheap, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
But just do your research on that. But yeah, like if I was gonna give anyone advice that wanted to buy rental property, it's like build a business that makes a lot of money, and then you invest that money. Like it's not, you don't buy rental property, like you said, to live off of the cash flow.
Yeah.
Because if your furnace goes out or something goes, like there is no cash flow. You're gonna be negative.
100%. Like last year, we had to put a whole like waterproofing system in one of the properties, and like it was like $7,500. And I was like, well, there's, that's
that's the whole
this
year.
thing is that's more than the whole year. This thing's not making money for a while. But I mean, we bought it at a good price, and I mean, what we could sell it for now, we still have plenty of equity. It's just like that just hurt. We're like, oh, fuck,
for sure. For sure. You got to be able to weather those.
Yes, you got to be, because that shit's inevitably going to happen. There's going to be a furnace that goes out. There's going to be a leak and something. There's going to be problems inevitably. Like you're never just going to buy this house and you don't touch it for 20 years. Like it's going to need constant maintenance.
Yeah, for sure. And I always kind of just say to myself, like, honestly, like all the rental properties, like who's going to benefit from it the most is probably going to be my kids.
Right.
Like I'll probably be dead and they're going to be like, oh, sweet.
Well, and that's the thing,
these rental properties that my dad bought,
Yeah.
that we could sell them.
Sure.
We've worked with a couple investors, Garcia from
California.
Yeah, so he was buying them here in St. Louis he's like, yeah, this is my kid's this is my kid. He's got 2 little kids. He's like, this is my also a firefighter. He's got two little kids. He's like, yeah, this is their college tuition right here.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna hold on to it. Sure, it might net me a little bit per month, but ultimately, when I go to sell it in the future, I'm gonna have like 1, it's gonna be paid down, and 2, it's gonna be worth more. And so he's like, I'm just gonna sell it, and there's my kid's college.
18 years, I'll sell this bad boy, and there's college. That's a great way to look at it.
And even if you have to put money in it each month, like after the tax benefits that you get, and then if that's your plan, it's still better, in my opinion, than what's the plan for college. There's like a
529.
I think it's better than, in my opinion, it's better than a 529 plan because you can benefit from the tax. Tax advantages. That
too, it's more versatile because you can essentially then use that money for whatever you want. 529 can only be used for schooling.
Right.
So you can't, I think there's a conversion. They've come up with a conversion now where you can convert it to something else if they don't go to school. But even still, it's just, I don't know. That and like looking into different types of life insurance. That's what I did for my boys. I set up like universal life policies on them. So it's kind of like a savings account on steroids. So like the models that we ran, assuming like a 7% growth with what I'm putting in per month for them, and 18 years, it'd be about $75,000 that they'd have. And whether they go to college or not, they get a scholarship, cool. But if they go to college, they can use that money for that. If not, then they're not going to know about that account until they graduate or until they feel like they're ready to take on that money, and they can use it for whatever they want.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Man. And I've heard people like we said with Moses, like his, just buying like this is my kid's property. You can, when he turns 18, he can go live there. He can sell it. He can, do if he wants to sell it and start a business. He wants to, I think that's kind of a cool, thing I've heard of as well. They can just kind of like, this is for you whenever you're, of age, and you can go live here. You can sell it. You can whatever. I think that's kind of a cool. Cool thing.
Just
also
leave it in an LLC so they don't lose their first time homebuyer benefits.
Yeah,
homeowner benefits. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because as soon as they go on title, they lose that.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's no. I mean, real estate is and everybody keeps talking about how like the negatives of it and how the unaffordability, like the affordability issues and stuff like that. But like when you're looking at it over the long haul, especially on the investment side, even with interest rates where they're at, like, because you're able to write that off, that's just a larger tax deduction for you to reduce what you're having to pay in taxes. When you're looking at the Schedule E, part of that line is interest paid. Yeah, you're going to have more interest paid, and it's going to help reduce your taxable income on that. So, even though rates are high, sure, your monthly cash return is not going to be great, but your return on investment long term is still going to be better than what it would be elsewhere if you were to put it elsewhere. And and it's a write-off, tax benefits, and that's the thing. Like most wealthy people are investing in real estate for the tax benefits.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you have a lot of any of your buddies like at the firehouse that you've helped, sell houses or buy? They see you like doing real estate investing and stuff like that? Has that made any one of them want to get into it, or got to help anybody like that?
Yeah. I think everyone's interested in real estate. Like a lot of people have talked to me about it. A lot of people like consider it and stuff. I don't know. There's probably like one other guy that does it. That's got a few properties that I can think of. And then a lot of other people just like they're interested in it, but just stages of life, and it's hard to do. Like you have to be really committed.
Yeah,
And it's tough. So I don't think anyone else has like really like pursued
into
it. Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah.
Um,
I've helped them sell some houses.
Yeah,
though,
no, that's great. Hey, man, I was gonna say there's a whole nother pool of potential clients, because I mean that's where I found where I get a ton of my real estate clients from, or from just the communities I'm a part of. Whether it's here or the CrossFit gym or the jiu-jitsu gym or whatever. It's like always people like doing business with friends. So
For sure.
I think the more the more kind of communities you put yourself in, like it's always opportunities for business. You know, and I try not to think about it that way, but it's just happens to be a byproduct of it, which is like awesome. Because I like working with these people because they're people like me.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like and that's probably what hurts me a little bit, is because like I'm not really in part of any other like communities besides work, firehouse, and then that's it. Like friends and stuff, obviously, that we hang out with here and there, but like I don't go play golf. I don't go to jiu-jitsu anymore. I don't do things that were like there's like a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
That definitely hurts my sales side. It's just because like my kids go to daycare during the day, and so I can work and do real estate. And when it becomes the evening time, it's like I just don't want to say no to them again.
Sure.
To go do whatever it may be.
Well, and then too, well, my how old are yours?
2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you'll get this too. Mine are 5 and 6, and they start getting into more activities. That's a whole new network that you're tapping into.
Yeah.
True.
True.
It's the kids and the friends and people that we've met through their activities, through sports and camps and stuff like that has been great. And we've made a lot of both my ex-wife and I. She's a real estate agent. We've made a lot of really good and her boyfriend's a real estate agent. Made a lot of really good connections through the networks that we've gotten the boys into. So
yeah. Yep. I didn't think about that.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, we starting preschool in the fall, so it'll be.
There you go.
It wasn't so much the preschool stuff. I mean, there's a few people that we were like the boys were friends with, and we would go do stuff with at their houses. But really, once they got into elementary school, that Connor got into elementary school, and then the organized sports through t-ball and now baseball, soccer, things like that. Those networks have been great. I mean, you're with them all the time, especially like now with how sports have gotten, and like you're practicing all the time, you're playing all the time, you're constantly around these people. So,
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, so being a leader in the firefighter squad, and now you're a business owner. Is that what are some things that you've taken from being a firefighter and a leader at the as a firefighter and taken to your business as a real estate agent? Some parallels.
Yeah, I mean, there's one major one. Like when you're a firefighter, a cop, paramedic, like you get called for everything. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like it can be the dumbest thing. You're getting called for it. So I think it's just like problem solving.
Yeah.
Like when we show up to something, we have to help you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Well, that's just the right thing to do. Like we don't just throw up our hands and we're like, all right, no, see you later. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. You help people figure it out, and because they don't know what to do. That's why they're calling you. Yeah. So you get there and I think it's just problem solving. Like there's always a way to solve something. It's just figuring out, who maybe someone else can solve it or you solve it, but there's always a way. So I think that's probably
it's a good tagline for you, because I know that we're always saying like, oh, I'm always putting out fires. You can literally say like, I literally put out fires, and
when I'm not here, I'm actually putting out fires.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I had to put out some fires today.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have one of those days. In real estate, you can have. It's just like any other business. You have good days and bad days, and some days are awesome. You're on top of the world. You got someone under contract, or you have signed a new listing or something, and then you have other days where deals fall apart, or inspections are a mess, or the occupancy inspectors giving you a hard time with something stupid or whatever it is. And just come across all sorts of shit in real estate.
Always something.
Yeah,
always something. Just when you think like, and just when everything's going good.
Yeah,
pops up, and you're
yeah,
like,
I know. I think about that all the time. Like, man, things are going too good right now.
I know.
Like, what?
Well,
There's something.
yeah,
I'm
things are
bound
going
to get
too smooth.
fucking
Yeah.
smacked in the face with something.
I'm feeling too good right now. I'm feeling too good.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
felt that feeling. Maybe and I'll be like, hey, there's like fucking looking over my shoulder, like, what the fuck's happening next?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Just like my recent duplex renovation, everyone's always sharing the good stuff. And I'm like, man, this is going really good. Like, I hired a good GC. Like, this is nice. And then I get a text, hey, got robbed. I was like,
there it is.
Yeah, yeah.
fuck. He sends me a video of my AC units just
Gone.
obliterated.
Gone.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's like the craziest thing to steal. I think. Like,
I guess they sell
That's
the aluminum on the inside of
Yeah.
it.
man, they can't
Or
be that
copper.
much though.
When you're a crackhead, it is.
I guess. God. Like, I mean, because I've been to the scrap place a couple times and like dropped off stuff, and I'm like, and it's like $20, and I'm like, man, all that shit, I got $20. Like,
Right.
really, that's it?
It's not even worth bringing here.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
more of a pain in the ass. Like, I would have paid someone more than $20 to get rid of this if I would have known that
Yeah.
that's all I was gonna get.
Yeah.
You know?
Talk about a good business.
Yeah.
Find a bunch of
Those junk
crackheads,
removal.
Yeah, just leave shit on the
Yeah.
fucking by the street.
Oh, like,
you
hey
know?
guys, I need some shit cleaned up. Let's
Yeah.
go. Here's
Yeah.
your next fix.
Get after it. We'll clip that one out.
Yeah. Murph, 32 minutes.
So I've seen you on a boat a lot recently. So do you have a listing in Lake St. Charles that's about, or it's not Lake St. Louis? That's
I don't
Okay.
actually. I was just using that as
Oh.
a way to
to
get-
generate some business. Okay,
Yeah,
I
there
like
you
it.
go.
No, it's
Yeah.
smart. I love it.
It actually worked. I ended up having a buyer that wanted to see that house.
Oh,
so
sick.
we went and checked it out, and wasn't a right fit. But
Yeah.
it's still
Now you
like
got 'em as
you
a
know how
buyer,
it is
hopefully.
with
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know how it is with leads and stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta social media is where it's
Dude,
at.
that's where it's
so-
at, man. I
yeah.
mean, that's what him and I both primarily. That's
Yeah.
where most of our business comes from. I mean, and it's not always like random people. It's rarely random people. I mean, it's happened a handful of times now, but it's typically people that you already know.
Yeah.
Or people that know of you, or maybe they follow you, or maybe you're a friend of a friend, and it gets shared to them, or whatever it is. But it's just like it's something easy to put out there that you don't know who's gonna see it.
Right. And how else do you get in front of
Yeah.
like that video that you saw? I think it was like 2,000 something views. Like how else do you get
Right.
it
How do
for
you-
free?
For
Right.
free,
2,000
2,000 views
views.
on
Yeah.
something. You could pay.
Yeah.
You could pay lots of money for a billboard or a TV commercial, whatever.
I got
it
a good
is.
clip, by the way.
And,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and the great thing too is like, even if you boost it, like I did a boosted post for like $5 a day for a week.
This is YouTube fumble fucking with the.
Oh.
Listen.
We're on 30, try 60.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out our our technical difficulties here.
Fuck me. He says fuck me.
Yeah, we were running into a little bit of a camera issue before.
I had to snag that. I was like, I was gonna show you. I was like, nah, it's not the time. Nah, it's not, he's frustrated right now. I don't want Zach to fucking choke me out. He's choked me out before.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Actually, a lot.
Same.
I don't think I've ever submitted you. You're good.
Oh, thanks. I try.
I think
Yeah,
the only time
he's
I've
good.
the only time I've succeeded against Zach, and I can't even really count it as succeeding. I just didn't get taken to the ground, is when we were standing up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just-
well, you're fucking you're
Yeah,
big.
Big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a little height advantage, weight advantage there.
you
So
just
Yeah, what do
grab
you
my
weigh? Like
gi and
250?
260.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't want you coming down on my knee.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, my knee's been bugging me lately, man. I think I need to take the rest of the week off. I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, mine was a groin the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we got that hot tub and sauna, or hot tub and cold plunge back here. I was thinking about just, doing a little hot cold
Yeah.
later or something. Maybe that'll loosen it up. It's just like super stiff. I just like can't sit all the way back on my heels right now.
Yeah, I was baseball started, so I was like trying, it was just stupid. It was a stupid thing, like trying to take a fungo and hit the ball over the fence, and I just got all into it, and I was like, oh, there's the groin.
Oh,
There it is.
yikes.
Got a fucking stretch to do everything now.
Oh,
Getting
dude.
old sucks.
The warm-ups, that's something I've noticed, like as I've gotten older, like over the last few years. It's like I used to never like warm up for anything. Now like I have to like break a sweat before I do anything, like,
I made that
For
mistake
sure.
yesterday before the workout.
dude,
'cause
yesterday's workout looked, I bitched out. I didn't go. But,
So I needed to knock it out quick. I had a lot of shit going on. I had a 5 o'clock appointment. So I got to the gym at like 4:15,
Well, you did it by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, well, I did it like as the class at 4:30 was warming up.
Oh, okay.
And like,
So they saw a preview of what they were about to go through.
Dying. So the workout was, RX was 12 cals on the bike, 10 burpees where you had to jump up and touch the bar, and then another 12 calories on the bike.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but you have
No, it sounds
2
terrible.
minutes and 30 seconds to finish it and a minute 30 rest. So you had basically 8 rounds of that. I had 8 rounds of that. And yeah, the first couple rounds were fine, but then I was like, man, I did not stretch right. My quads were so tight. I was dying. And they're all stretching, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have, like, as I'm doing this, they're sitting there just stretching, doing everything right. And I'm like, God, I wish I would have done that. But it was terrible. I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
this sucks.
Does Matt Green still write your programs?
No, I did that. I did that before that match right there. Actually, the one for CXBJJ, and no, that got me in fucking. I was probably the best shape I've ever been in. Honestly,
I
before
agree.
that,
That dude
but
is
I had
a
him
monster.
I had him write me up. I think it was like 6 months.
yeah,
Really?
It was intense. Like,
Dude.
it was good shit, but my hip started hurting.
yeah.
and
My
stuff.
my,
Like,
my
I was
knee
going too
started
heavy.
bugging me.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's an animal.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it got me in one of the best shapes I've ever been. But like to maintain that, like I feel like would be very difficult without getting injured, for like a long period of time.
For sure.
Like do it 6 months straight,
Yeah.
you're bound to fucking pop something.
Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know, it was like 4 months in or something like that. Because I was trying to do, like, I told him I was like, I want to gain strength and like cardio. And he was like, well, it's kind of hard to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can do it. What do you mean? So he just hooked me up with a plan, and yeah, it was tough
Yeah.
because I was trying to lift heavy and then do all the cardio as well. But yeah, it was
Lots of
good.
burpees.
Yeah.
That dude loves burpees.
Those-
I remember he had me on a thing. One of the things, it was like a 16-minute EMOM. It was 1 minute on, 1 minute rest. And it was like, I was doing 26 burpees every minute. Just fucking
Hauling.
hauling
Holy
ass.
shit.
Yeah, I was able to hold on for all 8 rounds. So it was like 26 burpees, rest a minute, 26 burpees, rest a minute for 8 times. Fucking brutal. So you're doing 200 burpees, 200 plus burpees in 16 minutes.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Fucking
Sounds
awful.
awful.
Yeah, that sounds
I hate
terrible.
burpees.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of body to move. I hate burpees.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Maybe, actually, no, okay. Maybe it wasn't 26. I think it was 24. Now that I'm thinking about it. Sorry.
Still.
But
Still.
it was
Either
still
way.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Those-
under 200.
I'll say those videos.
I'll just go over to the bench press.
Those
Yeah.
videos. Those videos he's been posting lately are hilarious.
Dude, those are great.
So
Those are
funny.
hilarious.
Those are
the
great.
whiteboard ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're
Are you
hilarious.
a doctor?
My favorite is can you fight?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, you can fight. Do you train BJJ more than
Yeah.
2 hours a week? No, you don't. No, you can't fight. Stop lying to me. That's so funny. I was like, yeah, that's. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I can't fight anymore.
I can't fight anymore.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Did he miss jujitsu?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Dude, it's so
That's
fun.
that's
I love
where
it.
it's at.
That's a hell of a workout.
Yeah.
And just nothing better than getting your ass kicked every time you go in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, because
humbling.
like when you leave, you're just like, you're spent.
Oh yeah.
You're like, holy shit, I'm spent.
And there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
workouts that prepare you for that other than just doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't.
You can just
replicate it.
no.
Well, it's like, with jujitsu, it's like you get more efficient with your movements over time. So, you know how to remain, when you can rest, when you can't rest, like when you're safe, when you're not. And it just like happens, over time. You get more comfortable being uncomfortable, which I
Yeah.
think is something, especially when people first start, they'll be underneath somebody and they like hyperventilate, and you like, nope. Like I can just, like if I was a blind guy rolling with someone, I could kind of almost tell like what belt color they are just by their breath, or at least I could tell if they're a white belt or not.
Yeah.
By like how they're breathing, because
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
know pretty
I
quickly.
feel like you're
that-
drowning.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And yep. That's me.
That's my
still.
favorite. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Like junior lines is like he's like, well, one is when he yells, "Kill him, kill him."
Kill him.
You're like, holy shit! All right.
Yeah, Junior's been on the show. He's
Yeah.
he's intense.
Yeah, he's the best. And then or the basically jujitsu, like the best way you can, not the best way you can describe it, but like pulling you into the waters and drowning you.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like
For
you're
sure.
drowning
You're drowning
when
yeah.
somebody knows what they're doing.
The-
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, still, I think the worst is knee on belly. That fucking kills me
That's drowning.
every time.
Yeah, just
That
like
sucks.
fold your body in half.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drive my knee as hard into your stomach as I
Yeah.
can, or if I'm doing it right, maybe in your sternum.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little, even a little worse.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone should have to train it.
I
For
think
sure.
Agree.
I think everybody should try it at least once. I think every guy that thinks they're a big tough guy should try it at least once.
Oh,
You know, so that they can
100%.
realize that they're not that, you know, that tough when they have like a 140-pound girl beat their
right.
ass.
Yeah,
You know,
we get a lot. That's what we get a lot of guys at the firehouse that think they're hard asses,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and it's just funny.
Yeah,
Like it's really funny.
I'm sure.
It's like
Yeah.
you should just go try.
just try
Yeah.
it. Just
Just
try
try
it. See how it goes. Oh,
Yeah.
you're tough.
Yeah.
See that little, that little skinny guy over
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, he's gonna wreck your
He's
shit.
got the purple belt around his waist, but
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You're way bigger and stronger than him.
Yeah, you
got
got it.
this. You got this. Go. You'll do fine with him. And then
Yeah.
just for 30 seconds in, he's about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then that's a whole nother piece is the cardio aspect of it that you you don't know at first is like
Yeah.
how to control your gas tank, because it's like people like will come at you like full bore, like right out of the gate. And it's like, they can only maintain that pace for like 30 seconds.
Doesn't
and they're
last
like,
very
oh,
long.
yeah. I'm like, oh, now I'll start working.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
oh, you're
just like-
tired. All right.
All
my
right, now
turn.
it's time to start
I
working.
mean, now
Yeah.
I'll turn it on a little bit, Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
I'll
best.
kick it into first gear.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save the others for later
Yeah.
when you're completely dead.
Yeah.
But
So do you think jiu-jitsu, has made you better at like staying calm, like during like emergency calls or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. But I had already been doing it for so long,
Makes sense.
that kind of already like built that.
muscle
You
already.
get used to like the stressors that you're exposed to,
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it definitely does help, right?
I'm sure it's
Jiu-jitsu
vice-
helps in everything.
Yeah.
Pretty
Mhm.
much you can relate it to everything, but
I was gonna say it's probably vice versa for you. Firefighting has helped you with jujitsu
yeah,
to remain calm under
Mhm.
stressful situations.
yeah. And I wrestled when I was younger, so
Okay.
that helped
Mm.
as well.
Yeah.
Like once you you just feel more comfortable when you start training jiu-jitsu compared
sure.
to like somebody that's never wrestled. Like you just
Yeah.
already kind of have a little bit of a base.
yeah.
I didn't wrestle a lot. Like I wasn't a college wrestler or anything like
Yeah.
that, but it still helps for sure.
Oh, for sure. Having that combat sport experience is huge, especially in jiu-jitsu when, especially if you're starting from the feet or something that, you definitely feel like you have an advantage over a brand new guy for sure.
Yeah.
Like I knew that when I first started that, if we ever started from the feet, like I felt decent in that room. It wasn't a super deep room at the gym I started at, but where I started, I was like, oh, if we're starting from the feet, I'm all right. When we hit the ground, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
For sure.
Yeah. But, like, I can
I
get in
remember when
there.
I first started, like I didn't know anything. I
Yeah.
just don't know anything.
Oh yeah.
I think I just walked into a guy's guard once. And
Yeah.
he collar choked me. And I was like, what?
You can't.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Wait, you just choked me with my own clothes?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I remember I think
Yeah.
I said the same. I think I said that exact line like
Yeah.
when I first got collar choked, like cross collar choked. I was
This
like,
was at a different gym, and it was almost like the guy was just like, because I was like,
Idiot.
I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
and then he was
put
just
my
like,
hand here.
I was
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, I like didn't even know that was something that you could do with the gi when like the very first time I put a gi on. I was like, oh, it's a weapon. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. This can be used against you.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I got to hate gi.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I hate that they can grab onto like
Mhm.
my leg, like
Yeah, your
no-gi.
hand, yeah.
No-gi's where it's at, in my opinion.
I mean, I like them both. They're both fun. Like I like training both. I train both pretty much on a weekly basis. But I think, I feel like I go through phases where I like one or the other a little bit better. Like
Yeah.
I've been working on this particular guard for like last 6 or 7 months now. And that I'm really like having a lot of fun with and starting to see some success with. But it's like a guard that I can only play in the gi. Like it's
Yeah.
a, pretty lapel and like grip heavy guard. So like I can't play it no gi. But then I go through phases where I'm like just loving no-gi because I like just
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little bit better no-gi than I am in the gi, but
At least the gi, I feel like the gi you can stall more
oh yeah,
to catch your breath.
for sure.
Like
for
the
sure.
no-gi, there's
No, it's such a faster, like
Yeah.
more like fast-paced athletic game, I would say, than no-gi. I mean, that's why you see a lot of like older people training the gi than the younger people, or the older people. You see a lot more older guys training the gi for sure.
Yeah, I haven't tried no-gi yet, but I think like one of my biggest strengths, I think for me, is my grips.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy having something to grab a hold of.
Yeah,
and being no
for sure.
gi, I don't think I would do as well.
That's
just
why I
because-
wouldn't want to do like gi with you, because I was like, there's no way I'd want you to get a hold of my gi.
Yeah,
Like, it would
that's-
Yeah, I'd
be-
rather if I'm going against, if I'm a smaller guy, I want to be in a gi for sure.
You do?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, because especially if I'm going against a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. Like
Yeah.
if Pat was, or if I'm going with another 260-pound purple belt, I would say, like,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I'm kind of fucked either way.
Yeah, you're screwed. either way.
But if I have my choice to go with a white a guy who's much larger than me, and he's I would say a tier 2 below me in like levels of skill, I would prefer to be in the gi for sure. I just feel like you got a lot more options.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
like you can.
I've seen it. Yeah, he's got a lot of options. against me.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah.
Oh,
Just use
stop
my,
it, guys!
Use my reach
Yeah.
to my advantage. I'm
Yeah,
just
for
going to
sure.
grip, and I'm just going to keep my arms out this way. So you can't
Just
get
bench
in.
press me off you,
Yeah.
Brad. Let's see how
Have
that
you
goes.
guys seen the guy on it's probably like TikTok and Instagram, all that, the Take Me Down guy?
Oh, I
for
love that guy.
$1,000?
Yeah,
He is
Take
an
Dude,
animal.
he is an animal, dude.
Animal.
I watched his one most recently, and it looked like it was like one of his toughest.
The big
ones.
was it the big
big
ass
guy,
kid?
big
I
guy.
didn't. I saw like the beginning of it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
watch it.
he
That's a
ended
big
up.
kid.
What is it?
What's the guy's name?
I
It's
just,
whole-
just type in "Take Me Down."
Yeah,
you win
take me.
$1,000.
Yeah, take me down. Win $1,000, and he gives people like 3 chances essentially to take him down. Usually,
He had to. I mean, obviously the guy wrestled in college.
Yeah,
and
he wrestled
stuff,
in
but I
college.
wonder what his.
He doesn't like, and he goes to like jujitsu gyms. He goes, wrestling places. He'll just like go find random people on a beach.
Yeah,
He'll like, just take me down, win $1,000, and no one's been able to take him down. It's
He's so
I
good.
forget his name.
and he's
that guy.
not, he's not taking on scrubs.
No, he's like
yeah.
taking on like MMA fighters. He's
Right.
taking on like high level jujitsu people. Like he's just all take me down, win $1,000. He's got a bunch of them. He's great. It's what's his name? Give him a
Oh,
shout
I
out.
don't know if this is him.
No, that's him.
I wouldn't
it?
even try.
Giorgio Polos.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's yeah, great.
What's his thing? I wrestle people. Yeah, no, his videos are awesome. I mean, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I watched him like cartwheel out of a single leg before, or like front flip out of
Yep,
a single
yep.
leg. Like, dude, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this dude's a freak.
He really is.
I remember like Bo Nickel was actually, I saw Bo Nickel talking on a podcast about him, and he's like, man, do you think you could take him down? He's like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
This guy's good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to see it, but yeah, I mean, that dude's awesome. I mean, it's good. It's great content. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody always wants to watch. Like, ooh, is he finally going to get taken down?
Yeah, especially
You know?
now because
He's got a thing. He's got like
Yeah.
100,
Yeah.
300,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like he's had to have built it from doing this,
Yeah.
which is a cool thing for
That's
sure.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When did you start?
last summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a couple months towards the end of last year, and then hockey started, so switched to hockey, and then hockey ended in April, and won a few times in April, a few times in May. Got signed up I paid for 6 months, and it's been a couple weeks since it's been since it's been a couple weeks. It's been since May since I've been in there, but because I tweaked that hamstring, and it's kind of important having that muscle to use during
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
For sure.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but I'm going to try and get back probably either not today. I can't today, but tomorrow before I take off. I might go tomorrow night before I leave.
There
So
you go.
if not, I'll definitely be back in on Monday when I get back. Now that I did that CrossFit workout yesterday. My felt fine. So
Good.
But so father of 2, you got a third on the way.
I do.
Another girl?
A
Or do you guys
boy.
know- a
Boy,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks,
That's
man.
awesome.
Thanks.
When's the due date?
It's August 15th.
Oh, it's a year before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
coming
it's
up.
coming up, bro.
real quick. Yeah.
Wow.
So
3 of them.
we're getting everything ready. My wife's getting repainting the room and like all sorts of shit going on at the house. So
Was there a big perspective shift going from being a firefighter without kids to a firefighter with kids?
not really so much like the fire side. I think maybe just like in life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like now with kids, I just don't like. I just try not to waste any time like on hanging out with people I don't want to hang out with, doing things that I like. Again, it just comes down to saying no to them. When I say yes to somebody else, I'm saying no to them,
Mhm.
and I just don't want to waste just don't care to go hang out with other people stuff when I can be hanging out with them.
Mm.
Because right now they're at the age where like I'm it.
Yeah.
Eventually that'll pass and it'll be like they don't want to hang out with me anymore.
Yeah.
So then then I'll go play golf or
Right.
whatever, and they'll hang out with me when they want to. And
Yeah.
but right now, like they want to be with me all the time.
Yeah.
So that's tough because it's like I drop them off at daycare and then I go and try to, make it in the real estate world. So it's tough right now, but I know I'm like, well, if I can really grind these next few years, like when they're 5, 6, we can have a better life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trying to sacrifice that now, but like on the mornings, evenings, weekends, I really don't like, I don't care to go on a guy's trip. I don't care to, do any sort of league at nights. That's why I don't, go to jiu-jitsu at night or anything. It's just like, that's not important to me anymore.
Yeah.
They are.
And I see a lot of pictures of you guys on social media down at the lake. Do you guys have a place down at the Lake of the Ozarks? Or
No, so we live in Lake St. Louis.
Okay, so that's the lake.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just at the Ozarks. Is probably what you
Gotcha,
saw.
yeah.
But so we got a boat. We got to slip out there.
Okay.
So we're out there quite a bit.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool community out there. My buddy lives out there. He's got a house right on the lake, and he's always talking about it. But
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really beat it. If you like being on the water, like nothing beats the Ozarks for sure
Right.
because it's like just different. But if being this close to St. Louis, if you want to be on the water,
Yeah. Well, I feel like
Lake St. Louis is the spot.
right. I feel like that. I mean, the Ozarks can be cool, but just because of if you're into the whole party scene, but if you want to relax, not really relaxing at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, unless you got like a house like in a cove and stuff. But yeah, you're
I
right.
don't know, but it's the houses in the cove, and there's not a whole lot of relaxing. It's just
Yeah, it's a party.
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a party. Like we were there and with kids and stuff, it's just different.
Different.
Yeah, and like I don't drink anymore. Like I don't care to like
Mhm.
we were at a big pool and stuff, and
Mhm.
like I don't want to drink.
Right.
Especially when you have your kids. Like I
Yes,
don't
I'm
care
the
to
same
like
way.
lose.
Right.
It's gonna
My
sound
kids-
weird, but I don't want to lose like if something happens
Right.
and I've been drinking, like talk about being a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like that's my opinion.
Yeah,
Like I
so I'm the
want to
same
be
way.
able to perform no matter like emergency situation, like
Yeah.
anything. I just
Yeah.
dude.
Well, that and then I don't know, man. I hate feeling like shit the next day. Like I like to be able
It
to
throws
wake
me
up
off.
and work out. I
Yeah.
like to go train. I like to go do all these things. And
Yeah.
like, over the last, ever since I've had kids, like really, my drinking has slowed down significantly over like the last decade. But like, really ever since like I got out of college and stuff like that, which is it's been a decade now. But yeah, especially since kids, it's like when you have kids, it's like you don't have the luxury of being hungover and
For
like
sure.
laying around on the couch the next day. Like
Yeah.
they're up at 6, they're up at between 6 and 7, they're waking up.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
hungover.
They're not hungover.
They're not
They're getting
hungover.
up, like, yeah. So like, over like I rarely drink now. It's occasional. I'll have a whiskey or something with Pat or do something like that. But like even then, like I still don't do it that often.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like people who do drink, I think they like it bothers them that like other people don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't care if you drink.
No, I
But
don't
for
either.
some reason you care that.
That I'm not.
that
Yeah,
I'm
because I'm
not.
not. I'm like not part of. You're not. I'm not in on your party right now.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Like I've noticed like I think it bothers them. Like for whatever reason, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you guys have
for
experienced that
sure.
or
Yeah.
not.
100%.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
I've done 75 hard a few times, and I think that's where I really kind of like that's where I would say my drinking definitely like slowed down significantly. The first time I did it, I was like, it was 2020. Yeah, it was like COVID. Me and Gina did it together, and that was like the first time ever I'd gone. Since like I'd started drinking probably in high school, that I'd gone 3 months without drinking, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's not that bad. Like I still live my life. I still have fun. I could still hang out with my friends. I could still have a good time. Like I always
Yeah.
thought that like everything was connected to alcohol. Like, oh, I have to drink to have fun here or whatever. But
Yeah.
like it's definitely not that way.
Yeah, it always throws me off track too.
Mhm.
Like pretty routine.
Yeah, me
If
too.
I drink, like you're sleeping in.
Sleep shit.
You're
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing I've been wearing this whoop strap for a little bit, and it's crazy. It tracks your sleep and your recovery and all these things, and it's crazy like seeing what even just like having one drink will affect your sleep like significantly.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, dude, it's wild. Like if you have one, like for me at least, I'll have one drink and it'll definitely like change my sleep that
Mhm.
night, which is like crazy. If you just think just like one, but
Yeah.
like
What's your guys' schedule like? Like, what time do you like to get up? And I found that like now with kids, I like to get up early just to like have that time by myself. Like, what do you guys working
I need
with?
to start doing that again because it was in a great routine for a while that I was waking up before the kids and kind of had like a nice little morning routine where I'd wake up, I'd read 10 pages, I did like a little meditation, and then I'd journal and all while I was drinking some coffee, and the kids would wake up. I'd try to get up about an hour before they wake up. But over like ever since we had our second, I kind of fell out of routine with that, and he just turned 1, so I guess I've been off it for a little bit now. But now I essentially wake up around 6:30 ish, and I usually go to bed around 11.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean-
need to get to bed earlier, to be honest. I'm just like a little kid that doesn't want to go to sleep.
Yeah. What are you doing like after the kids go down? Like,
Kids
what
go
is your-
down,
Are you working?
no, not typically. I mean, some days. Actually, yeah, last night I was. It just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Like last night, finally got Calvin into bed by 9:15. Then fucking made dinner. It's honestly like we've been most of the time. Gina and I will eat after he goes to bed, but he used to go to bed a lot earlier than he does now. So now we're not eating until like really late, which has kind of been really. I'm not a fan of, because I'm like not eating till like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, which is not great. And then I'm trying to go to bed an hour later. It's not the best thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually when they go to bed, it's, we'll eat, and me and Gina will hang out for about an hour or so. And then she usually goes to bed around 10. And then, that last, hour between like 10 and 11, I just kind of do whatever I need to do, whether it's a work thing or whether it's, if I just want to sit and watch TV and relax and just kind of have some alone time, like that's usually what I'll do.
Yeah, I'm pretty consistent. I'm up right around 7 every morning. My kids are early risers. I mean, they're up at 6, and so it's like if I wanted to beat them up, I'm waking up at 5, and I'm not waking up at 5. I kind of get my I decompress at the end of the day. So like my kids go to bed at 8:30 on the dot every night. Might take them, I get them into bed at 8:30, and then they might usually fall asleep between 8:45 and 9 o'clock at night. But that's at that time, it's my time. Like that's where I'll get my reading in. That's where I'll get, journaling, things like that. Like I'll usually take a couple hours at the end of the day where it's just quiet. And then after that, depending on what time I get done with that, I might put the TV on for a little bit before calling it a night. And then, for me, I feel like I function the best on like 6-7 hours of sleep. If I get anything more than that, I'm going to be way too tired. Like I just feel tired. Anything less than that, I'm actually better on less sleep than I am on more sleep. I just feel more tired. I don't know if it goes back to like baseball days. Like I couldn't sleep on a bus. So like whenever we would go after a game and we're hopping on the bus and driving through the night to get to the next place, I just couldn't sleep on a bus. So I would just stay up the whole overnight trip, get in 6 a.m., go climb in bed for a couple hours before I had to go back to the field. And I just know I guess my body just kind of fell into that routine. But that's the end of the day is for me, that's where I get my time.
Gotcha.
And so, and yeah, I mean, hell, it makes it tough when it comes to dating, being a single dad. And like, at the end of the day, like I need that time. And there's times like, oh, well, let's go do this. And I'm like, I'm just going to take tonight.
Yeah.
And so, but, when I have my kids, like I said, that's the routine. Even when I don't have my kids, it's, I might move that up a little bit earlier and then spend a little bit more time being able to do things that I want to do. But usually when I don't have my kids, I'm working pretty late. I'm usually working till about 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
How long you been a single dad?
Since we separated beginning of 22, divorce was finalized end of 22.
Okay.
So a few years.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And honestly, like it sucks not having my kids all the time. But at the same time, we do every 2 days. So those 2 days that I don't have them, I can work and get a lot of stuff done and accomplished in those 2 days, so that when I do have them, I can focus on them. And, it just makes you miss them. Like when they're around all the time, like, yeah, and this was part of the reason too. Like I always prioritized work, especially when they were younger, and just kind of didn't spend the time with them like I should have, and took it for granted. But now I realize the little time that I have with them, that how important that is, that I am, when I'm with them, I am with them. So like today I'll go pick them up at 4 from camp, and it'll be us until, time for bed. Whether it's we're going to go outside and play, go to the pool, anything just to keep them active. If Ollie wants to go build on Legos or whatever, then we'll go do that. He's my youngest. He loves doing that stuff. So I try and mix it up to make sure that Connor's getting his sports activities in, Ollie's getting his time and what the things that he loves to do. But that's what we'll do for those 4.5 hours when I don't have them. And then in the morning, it's funny because they usually come climb in bed with me around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. and then they'll just sleep there for a couple hours, and then they'll get themselves up and they'll go hang out together. Like, it's great that they're so close in age because they're really good friends. And they're really close, and they'll just go and hang out and watch TV and do their own thing. And then, like, I'm usually up at 7, or if not, they're trying to wake me up at 6, and I'm like, nope, let's go back to bed. Let's go back to sleep, guys. Like, you know, we don't have to be anywhere until 9. We got plenty of time. We got an hour and a half from 7 until we have to leave about 8:30. But that's kind of like their schedule. They like that alone time together, just kind of watching TV together, watching cartoons, but you know. That's just kind of my routine with them. So,
cool.
Yeah.
What's your routine like?
Pretty similar to you guys. Usually wake up around. It just depends. If I'm going to the firehouse, I get up at like 4. If I'm not, and I'm off, I'll usually get up anywhere between 5 and 6. And then my daughters usually get up around like 7, and then we'll hang out for either like an hour or 2 or school, because I don't. Real estate, you can kind of decide the morning time's kind of slow.
Yeah.
So we'll just hang out, make breakfast, play, and then I'll run them to school, and then I'll hit the gym and begin my day from there. In the early morning, I'll just like journal stuff, review goals, stuff like that, hang out, drink coffee, hang out with my wife. My wife usually gets up early and is the gym at that time. So she's either usually doing something in the basement in the gym, or she goes at 45. Evening time, I usually pick them up around anywhere between like 3:30 and 4, and then it's family time from there, and then usually go to bed at like 9. I try to be in bed 9 to 10.
Yeah.
I needed to start getting to bed earlier. It's just I'm like, at heart, I'm just a little kid that doesn't want to go to bed.
It's hard. It's hard to get in that routine. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I just I just like to sit around and I'm not that tired. I'm fine. And then I wake up the next day. I'm like, fuck, why did I watch that other episode? I should have just went to bed. You know.
I don't know about you guys, but what really drags me down is the phone. Like if I'm on the phone before I go to bed, like scrolling or looking at anything, the next day I feel like shit. Like the next morning, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know. I just, you know, Zach talking about the Whoop. I got one, and just yesterday was my first day, and I don't know if it was just because I was just exhausted, but I had a great night's sleep, and you know, I try and stay, but that's the thing. I got 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And woke up, I feel great, and was able to, you know, they're like, it shows what your recovery rate is, and even after only 5 hours of sleep, I was still able to recover 75%. So they say
better than my 6.5 hours I got.
I need to get one of those.
It's cool.
It's just sweet.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. It's like, just sit there, like Zach's been doing it longer than I have, but done it for one day, and I'm just like constantly looking at the app, like, oh, what, you know, I just did a workout. What was the strain score?
Yeah. So you get a strain score for every when you work out or any activity that is found, and so it's like how hard you work basically. And it's on a scale of 1 to 21, and like, you know, the workout can be any, like, you know, as I wear it when I do jiu-jitsu too, which is cool.
You wear it during?
Not on my wrist.
Oh.
So there's underwear. There's a bunch of different ways you can wear it. But like this little chip pops out here.
Put it on your wiener.
Yeah, I tape it underneath my ball sack. And
which, by the way, you're not to go off topic, but your recent video, and she's like something about like you have
a little tiny wiener.
You're like,
hey, you.
Yeah, you're like, maybe.
Yeah, I was like, maybe, but what do you have?
Yeah, I was dying on that one. I think I watched it twice.
I got a text. He's like, which intro should I do? I'm like, definitely the tiny
one. You know, it's funny if you look up one of my buddies messaged me, because this is not the first time I did like a tiny wiener video. This is the second one I did. He goes, it's funny because I have them both pinned to the top of my page, and he's like, funny that like 2 of your best performing house videos are both you talking about how you have a small wiener. Like there must be a correlation there.
Yeah.
The other one was really funny. I think the other one was honestly a little bit better than that one, because it was this lady who goes, if this is you need to shut the fuck up or something. And she's like, and then it says to me, hey guys, I got my new listing.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
You need to lower your motherfucking tone when you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got this new listing.
That's funny.
So
funny, man.
The stuff that catches.
Oh, I love
it.
That's like one of my favorite parts of
hook.
real estate is just like making the funny content. Like I love doing that. It's
Yeah.
just fun. you
Like
know?
this is fun.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
is
like
great.
You guys get to do this, and
Yeah.
it goes to your page,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
this is
it's-
a blast.
Yeah, we
this is our
love-
favorite. This is probably the favorite type, like social media
Oh, for
/
sure.
marketing, advertising that we do.
Yeah.
I mean, just I feel like we've gotten an education from this.
For
and,
sure.
Like just, sitting down across the table from all these different people. I mean, just people from all walks of life. I mean, like right before you, we had a guy that's a musician, last week we had a police officer, and we had a guy that, what was last week? We did, he has a car detailing business, and, it's like we had just all sorts of people.
Yeah.
We've had people on we had a guy on that rollerbladed across America. Which
No shit.
Yeah, 42 days. He went from Venice Beach to Times Square, which is a crazy story.
Amanda Clifton
Wow.
was on not
Yeah,
so long
we had
ago.
Amanda
Yeah,
on.
yeah. She's
recently.
great.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome.
Jim and
Jim Avery. that was
personal injury attorney.
Yeah, he's got crazy
okay.
stories.
Yeah.
Crashed an
I bet.
airplane, he flies airplanes, crashed one,
Yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah.
crazy stories.
Oh yeah.
Crazy car collection.
Military guy. He told us some
Yeah.
stories of him being overseas,
3
things like
tours.
that. Yeah, 3
Yeah.
tours. So yeah, and he announced on here that he was running for Missouri State. Was it Rep or Senate?
Senate, I
Senate?
thought,
Yeah. And
Cool.
made his announcement here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
First here on the Zach and
Yeah.
Pat show.
Yeah. Breaking
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
a
that's
week
very cool.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Jim. It'll come out in a week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We're a little behind.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I bought the wrong SIM card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like this. Hopefully we don't have any issues with this one. But I'm sure Murph will figure it out.
Yeah.
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 That's what we got a Murph for.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
So-
Adam, it's been awesome having you in here, brother. Is there anything else you wanted to plug before we get you out of here?
No, man. No, I just appreciate you guys having me on. It
Yeah,
was a good
man.
time, and yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we like to end it playing a little game. We call it the Tombstone game.
Okay.
Here lies Adam. What's it say on your tombstone?
Oh man, put me on the
Yeah,
spot.
take
yeah.
a second to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh. Tombstone game. You guys are.
It's a fun
Yeah,
one.
this is a tough one.
It is.
How long do you sit before you're like,
Same.
that was enough?
No.
I think honestly, if I could I think just my name.
Mhm.
Honestly, I wouldn't put anything else. And
Really?
then those that know me, it's just really just their own assumptions, and they know who I am and what I'm about. And I really don't need it to say anything else, just accept my name, because I would be, the people that would know me would know what I stood for, and yeah, I wouldn't need it to say anything.
There you go.
Fair
Well,
enough.
let's rephrase it this way. You've got your 2 daughters and one on the way. They watch this video in 30 years. What's a message you want to leave them with?
Oh shoot, that's a good one. Yeah, listen to yourself. Be confident. Take advice from those who are where you want to be. Don't take advice from people who haven't done what you want to do. Yeah, and I love you.
Perfect.
Perfect.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning into the show. If you could click that subscribe button for us, that would help us out a ton. Pat and I have a goal here to reach 500 subscribers before the end of 2025. So help us set our goal. If you got anything out of this episode, share it with a friend. Click that like button, comment what you thought below, and we'll see you next time.